perpetuate, hopefully, constant growth.
I brought up something to you once while we're making Lord of the Rings from one of your characters that I took through my life since your character said it, and you couldn't remember your character saying it until I told you. It was it the Ice House?
Ice Storm. Ice Storm.
In the bathroom? When your character says, when you smell a fart, you're actually tasting it.
It changed my life too.
Anytime you smell a fart, you're eating a fart.
Yeah. You're saying fart. That's not what he said. It's worse.
Is it?
Yeah, he's referring to shitting.
Yeah.
And you couldn't remember,
and I remember when I brought it up to you, and you were like, "No, I don't remember this," and I told you what you, and you were like, "Oh, it was as if it was the first time you'd ever heard it or thought about it." It was great.
You can't watch that scene. It's Ang Lee. You cannot watch that scene and ever go into like a 10K run and stop in the bathroom before you start the run and be the same way ever again.
Yeah, actually a porta potty.
Yeah.
Because that's a lot that you're eating then. That's a
We have some pretty amazing words of wisdom so far. Elijah, you said continue on and you get to get something from all your different roles. Sean, you mentioned earlier about like playing things real. And then Billy, when you smell farts,
yeah, thanks for that one.
you eat a fart, you know what I mean?
You smell a shit.
Yeah.
Eating shit. Or in Scotland we call it a jobby, which I think is a nicer word. Isn't it? I think everyone from now on, anytime you're talking about shit, say jobby, because I think that's nice.
Jobby, yeah.
Well, not once you know what it is.
But even still, I need a jobby. Sounds alright. I slipped on a jobby.
Yeah, let's move on to the next question. Right? Right over here.
Hi, I was wondering, where in Middle Earth would you guys most want to live?
The Shire. Always thinking about it.
Well,
The Shire is just...
Lothlorien's pretty cool up in the trees.
Well, even when you get hit with that loom.
No, that was terrible.
Did you hear about
Well,
that?
that was Rivendell.
Was it? No, that was Lothlorien, wasn't it?
Rivendell.
Was it Rivendell?
Yeah.
Did you hear about that?
That was right.
They make these beautiful, you know, all the scenery was amazing in these things, and they were all really made. It was just incredible, the artwork. And in Rivendell, there was a huge loom, wasn't there, that the elves, I suppose, were making?
The weaving thing. And
Weaving.
It was set on these four delicate points. Huge loom, big oak cross beams on it where the yarn or whatever it is like that, and then tiny little points it stands on, so that with just a little puff of wind, it fell over and knocked me out cold. It sounded like a cricket bat hitting the back of my head. I've never been the same since.
A man with a thinner skull would have been killed.
Okay, we need to save it. You didn't put it. Where did the bubble come from?
Why does that always happen?
That specifically, bubbles come into your life like that?
Yeah, always. There's always a bubble.
To compensate for the jobbies.
There's always a bubble for every jobby, everybody. That's if you learn anything today. And Anthony, tell us about the set. So you mentioned, oh my gosh, the beautiful artistry. To be able to walk into that, you know what I mean, and see those things. Have you been back since? I know they took it away and then they brought back Hobbits and and it's there. Have you been back to it? Have you seen it? Have you visited?
I've been back to Hobbiton, yeah. It's incredible. I mean, the only thing about Hobbiton that's a bit of a bummer is that they didn't build out the set of Bag End. But all of the facades of the Hobbit holes are there, and because after Lord of the Rings, after we wrapped those films, the facades had all been taken down. It was still opened up to be a tourist destination, but there were no facades, no doors. A lot of the landscaping had been changed, and then they came back for the Hobbit, and renovated all of it, added new Hobbit holes that didn't previously exist, finished it all out, left it there, and then basically now you can visit it as it is in the films, which is really special. It's cool. But yeah, I mean, I think the most impactful set to be on was probably Bag End. That was my favorite. Like, walking into Bag End, you could be in points of Bag End that had no reference to the fact that you were on a sound studio. It just felt real. It was so beautiful.
Yeah, I think that's what adds ultimately to the magic of the films and your performances as well. So I mean, man, a credit to all those artists and everybody that got together.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Hey.
What was your favorite Lord of the Rings movie?
I think my favorite is still Fellowship.
I like Return of the King.
Yeah.
So in Fellowship, I like the fight with the cave troll, because we all come together. In the Two Towers, the Helm's Deep battle, and in Return of the King, all the stuff I get to do.
That was the correct answer. It was all three was what we were looking for, guys. Yeah. Was there, yeah, oh my gosh, Fellowship, right, they're coming all together, you know, Two Towers, it's kind of like everything's had a head. And then Billy, you get to sing in Return of the King. How did that come out? Because it's such a beautiful song that it led to, you know, the new song as well.
It was because of karaoke. We were in a karaoke bar with Philippa, one of the writers, and the next day I'd sang a song in karaoke, and the next day she said, would you like to sing a song in the movies, because we meant to put in more music and there's just not enough time, and I said, yeah, I'd love to. And they said, okay, we're going to get something written, and then they changed the timing, and we were going to film it in a couple of days, and they said, could you write something, a tune, that we can put it to a Tolkien poem? And yeah, so I wrote that tune, and then we. Is that coming on?
It's all sort of otherworldly experiences right now.
So cool. And then if Denethor had arrived in a bubble, Wizard of Oz, but dressed as the witch in Wizard of Oz.
It's such a beautiful, oh my gosh, it's such a beautiful scene, because we're cutting between you, right, singing that, and then we're immediately seeing Frodo and Sam, you know, having that emotional scene. And Sam, you're you know, providing us with these words. Had you heard the song? Did you know how it was sort of coming together? Because it's, in the end, my gosh, it's so beautiful with all of it kind of.
That was happening, I think. We were in a different location.
We don't split up then.
We were split up, so that whole process of that moment and then coming up with the song, yeah, we weren't around for that.
Yeah.
It was weird when we split up, like everybody.
I was going to ask about that, because you started off,
And
it was hard. We'd all gotten really close. It was really fun, and we all knew what we were doing, and everything was going great. And I was like, okay, bye. Yeah, I didn't like it as much being apart. I mean, it was good. We got to be together. He wasn't well most of the time, but that's all right.
The character, Elijah was fine.
Elijah was fine.
And Billy and Don got to spend all that time together as well.
Yeah, we got. In fact, one time, these guys were filming a lot of stuff, crawling up a mountain or something.
Minor plot point, yeah.
Mostly it was just walking across the Shire and then walking across the mountain.
They were doing all that stuff, and they said, look, we need you guys to come to where they are, which was in the South Island, to do weather cover, because they didn't have any weather cover scenes to shoot. So they said, look, if it starts raining, we don't have anything to shoot with these guys, so could you come down and we can shoot you guys, you know, on Treebeard or something. I can't remember what it was. But they said, to be honest, we don't think we're going to use you though. The weather's going to be great.
Wait, was this when we were in Blenheim?
I can't even remember where it was.
You guys were staying in that house.
They said,
oh, legendary.
We'll put you in a house rather than a hotel, and you can live together, me and Dom. There's their first bad idea. So me and Dom thought, yeah, it'll be great. We can like watch all our favourite movies, and so we just got like a crate of wine and took all our DVDs of like Laurel and Hardy movies and all this. And no one came to see us for like 3 days. And we would sometimes go out to get a pizza or something, that was better. And end up the producer's assistant came and was knocking on our door.
Losing it.
They thought there was something wrong with us. But me and Dom, we had video cameras and stuff, and we were making movies and all that, just the two of us. We spent I don't know, 10 days or something, just the two of us together.
It's like the Heart of Darkness.
At one point I got up, you know, just in the morning, and I came downstairs, and Dom's at the fireplace, smoking a pipe naked. And another time, for some reason, he was filming me out in the garden.
This is taking a turn, man.
And I just started running, and he was filming me. Like this. And I don't know why, but I felt I was like Forrest Gump. I just started running and I couldn't stop. And I must have went for miles, because you did what? And he said I didn't come back for like hours and hours. I don't even know where I went.
We need to find this footage immediately.
There is tapes.
There is tapes.
But it's never seen. We don't know where they are.
Shortcut to mushrooms.
Here you were on set, you know what I mean, doing your daily
Responsibly go on.
Yes. I think at that point we were like, you know, on one rock set after another. Just, oh, it's another formation of rocks.
Heavy stuff, real emotional.
Oh yeah. Oh my God, that's
That is a reality show that somebody needs to find the tapes for right now.
Where could the tapes be? Where could the tapes be?
I don't know, but they were mine, so I've got them somewhere. One day we will find them and release it as a documentary. 10 days in New Zealand.
Definitely be Heart of Darkness style.
10 days in New Zealand, Heart of Darkness.
Thank
Hi, this one's for